What's going on, guys? Krakow here, and welcome to some, I was about to say Modern Warfare, welcome to some, well, it is, I guess, Modern Warfare. Welcome to some Medal of Honor 2010, and this is a pretty interesting gameplay, so I hope you guys pay attention to what happens. But also, I have a pretty interesting topic today, as you guys see by the title. So this is going to be Medal of Honor Warfighter versus Call of Duty Black Ops 2 video. Now, I just watched the, Jimmy Fallon Black Ops 2 gameplay that was on last night. And I do have to say that the Overwatch mode, or whatever it is that it's called, let me just make sure what the hell it's called. Because it was on this late night talk show. I mean, everybody knows Jimmy Fallon, obviously. Excuse me, it was called Strike Force. So, Strike Force in Black Ops 2 is basically where you take command of either drones or, ground troops and stuff like that to affect the campaign. So, Strike Force missions will be set up at random points all throughout the campaign of Black Ops 2. Now, we don't really know all too much about the campaign itself. We know it's set in 2025. We know that there's a lady president. And we know that there's Alex Mason, was obviously there, which is Mason's son from Black Ops. And Woods is still alive somehow, like he said. The only thing that surprises him is the fact that he is still fucking alive. So this is going to be a little comparison video of what we know, what to expect, and from both games, and which am I most excited about. I don't know how the fuck I didn't kill that guy. But remember, kids, greed doesn't pay out. Because I almost got a cruise missile. I mean, I would be 100% sure that I would get a cruise missile, but unfortunately, at one point in the game, instead of just shooting the guy, I got greedy and I tried to stab him, and it didn't work out well for me. I'm always tempted by those 5 extra points when you stab somebody. Oh well, that's one of the things I gotta do. See, look at this. Melee kill, 15 points. Okay, so going back to the game. Both first-person shooters are premiering, one in October 23rd and the other one on November 13th. So they're, I don't know, about 3 weeks apart. Obviously, I'm gonna get both. But to compare both games, I think it's adequate at this point. You wouldn't want to compare Battlefield to Call of Duty for the simple fact that, first of all, Battlefield has a lot of vehicles. It's vehicle-based warfare. It's huge maps. You can resupply ammo. You can revive teammates. Well, I guess you can argue that you can revive teammates too in Black Ops, but that's not the point. You can't really compare Battlefield to Call of Duty. Completely different experiences. The only thing that's similar is the fact that it's a first-person shooter. Now, a game like Medal of Honor, which is, and I'm talking strictly multiplayer-wise, even though it's based on a different engine, you can still make a good comparison video in regards to both games. First of all, both games are close quarter. Like we learned about Medal of Honor Warfighter, not too long ago at E3. Maps are going to be small, and it's going to be 10 versus 10, but also, to scale it down a little bit, it's going to be also 6 versus 6, and maybe some other mode, maybe like 8 versus 8. So it's definitely not, 24 versus 24, or, no more 12 versus 12, no huge maps, and, combat mission will return. For those of you that don't know what combat mission, it's kind of like Rush, where you get the objectives and then you move up, so that's pretty good. But all aside from that, game modes like Sector Control, which is Domination, and Team Assault, I'm thinking that they're going to return. Sector Control is returning 100%. So Sector Control versus Domination. I'm thinking that it's going to be the same sized maps in Call of Duty as in Medal of Honor. So one thing that they definitely will have in common are, the small close quarters battles. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, took a bold step going into the future. Not everybody likes the idea. I personally do, for the simple fact that it's something new that this series needed. Now, see, what I would have done to kind of shut the critics out is to have 2 multiplayer settings in Black Ops 2. I would have had the 1986 multiplayer in it because, the campaign takes place in two kind of timelines, one in 2025 and the other one in 1986, I believe. So I would just split it up like you have a 1986 mode, and you would have a future mode, just like they did with Battlefield Vietnam, like an extension pack, and, regular Battlefield 3. I think that would be pretty cool. So, there's a lot of emphasis on drones in Black Ops 2, but, I don't know if that will transfer over to the multiplayer or not. We will just have to wait and see. But innovations were definitely made, and we'll see how it plays out. Again, I'm one of those people that hates drones, so you know, the least drones in the multiplayer, the better. The more gunplay, the better, definitely. Now in Medal of Honor Warfighter, also some emphasis was put on robots. We saw this little assault drone that ended up being a scorching kill streak. We saw a bunch of new weapons. Well, not really a bunch, but they assured us that there's going to be a good amount of weapons, which I'm very happy about. See, even if the weapon sucks, I'm still going to end up using it because it's something different. I mean, in this game, as you guys can see, I'm using the M4 because what's there really to use? I could have used the MP7, I could have used the M16, but you know, at this point in the game's life, if you're not using the best setups, you're pretty much gonna get slaughtered, unless you can get a good spawn lock going. But you know, I don't like really the optic sights, so I always tend going for I always tend to go for, you know, for the iron sight. But Medal of Honor Warfighter is a complete 180 from 2010 from what I've seen. I mean, there's a lot more mechanics. Both games, Black Ops 2 and Warfighter, definitely make great strides to I guess to make the audience love them. I mean, I never expected Warfighter to look this damn good. I mean, the shit that they did with Frostbite 2 to kind of, I don't know, to not make it look like Battlefield, because remember, Danger Close, that's developing Medal of Honor, wants the last thing to do is to look like Battlefield. Every company wants to be, you know, wants to stand out. Same thing goes for Treyarch. I mean, if they would go back to World War II, it would just be like, oh, well, you know, Treyarch is making another World War II game, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's gonna start bitching. So I'm kind of happy that they did that. And also with the 10 points, 10-point system that I talked about in my previous video, that's something different. A lot of people didn't like that idea, but, you know, you can't really say if you like it or not when we didn't even try it out yet. And who knows, and I heard, this is not confirmed, I heard that there are also perks in Medal of Honor Warfighter. So we'll see how that plays out. It's not, that doesn't mean it's gonna be bad, but it's something different. Medal of Honor Warfighter is a complete 180 of your typical Medal of Honor 2010 experience, and Call of Duty Black Ops still has that Call of Duty feel from what we see, but it's a complete 180 from your standard. I mean, removing class-based system is a huge step in my opinion. So I want you guys' comments. I want you guys to speak up again, well, not against it, but speak your thoughts out in the comment section below. Final score is 44-4, and I will see you guys next time after the game.